Here are the best DPS counters to Orisa. Orisa is a super versatile tank that works into most comps, but I think Mei is her best outdoing. Without any form of vertical mobility, walling her off as Mei can force the Orisa to use most of her cooldowns, leaving her super vulnerable afterwards. Some soft counters to Orisa include heroes like Bastion, Echo, Pharah, Sojourn, and Symmetra. I'd say the only bad DPS pick into Orisa would be Torbjorn, since Orisa is pretty effective at taking out his turret, and has enough tools to deal with Torbjorn getting up in her face. If you want to learn the best DPS heroes
Never in my life have I went, oh, they have a good Torb, let me go Orisa here.
to play into every tank, you can check out the full guide video on my YouTube channel now, link is in my bio.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. Oh, is this? I know what this is.
No way. No way. No f***ing way. No f***ing way he leaves to buy the battle pass. No f***ing way he leaves to buy the no way. There's no way.
Wait, did he go buy it?
If he
If he just bought the battle pass,
He bought it! He bought it! What the
bro.
Oh, this is the Overwatch that Blizzard wants. I remember that last season. Oh, last season was a bad one.
Overwatch pet peeve?
If people complain about season 9 stuff, you just look at season 8. I swear to God, I'll never complain again.
Overwatch pet peeves, episode 1. When people don't think about support LOS and then flame supports. You know, as a support main, I had to start with this one. We have all had those moments where our Reinhardt charges in behind 3 walls and then starts flaming supports after they die. I have to admit, this is one I used to...
No, the way you play Reinhardt there is you pin around the 3 walls, try to kill one, and then die with honor. Don't complain. That's it. You know, I've died definitely like times doing that, and then my support's like, I can't see you. I go, I know, and then they're just like stun locked. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know. I knew I was gonna die, but I killed one, and I made space. Die with honor.
I used to be guilty of. I would rush around corners and die, and then go, where are my supports? Why aren't you with me? And Anna would say, I'm positioned in the back. I can't follow you there. And I'd be like, well, it's your job to follow me. Tanks, I hate to break it to you, but it's not a support's job to kill themselves to save your life. And to all of the support mains I've
Yes, it is.
complained to over the years,
I know that's not actually legitimate advice, but I don't care. Yes, it is.
this
Follow
is
me into the glory, into the depths of hell. Follow me into the depths of hell. No bitch shit. There was a reason why we had a call out last season, season 8, during the MAGA meta. Me and Karq had a call out. If I got put in the cage, and I knew we could kill the MAGA, the call was no bitch shit, no bitch shit. And Karq jumps the in and throws the nade at the floor, and then we're like, okay, we got about 3 seconds to kill this MAGA. Just like try to blow him up as fast as you can. No bitch shit. Run with me. We will live. We will win.
formal apology. Next up, we have people who complain about you practicing a character in quick play. This is one I never really understood. If you can't practice a hero in quick play, where are you supposed to practice them? You can't say arcade because that's just not anywhere near the same as comp. You aren't just learning how to press your buttons, you're learning to position,
True.
how to play around certain heroes on your team, how to deal with certain team comps. None of that is something you're going to learn in a 3v3 either.
Also, I gotta work on my machine gun noises. Those were terrible. Those are terrible. I don't know what was wrong with me.
I think it's important that people actually try in their quick play games. You don't need to sweat, but at the end of the day, nobody wants a teammate who's trolling. But that doesn't mean you can't practice heroes you're not good with. That's the entire point of the game mode. If you want people to swap for you, go play comp, and even then, don't expect it. The way Blizzard treats win rates is gospel when it comes to balance. This is something I really agree with, and I want to explain why with a quick example. Throughout almost every season of Overwatch, Symmetra has had one of the best win rates in the game. She's currently the third highest win rate over the last 3 months, right under Mauga and Brig. Now, if I asked you if Symmetra was
Brig last season had the highest win rate in the game, and it wasn't even close.
strong, you would probably tell me no. So why
Fun
does
fact.
Symmetra have this win rate?
And that was across all ranks, from GM to top. From top 500 to bronze, all the way across. The highest, not even close.
Simple. She's a very
Fun
strong
fact.
niche pick, and people only play her in those niches. If you're on Lijiang and you have a Symmetra TPing you to point, your chances of winning are simply higher. And outside of these scenarios, a lot of people just don't play Symmetra at all.
A lot of people
even
would
though
say,
Symmetra might
no,
not be
Brig wasn't
strong,
broken
her win
last
rates
season.
have always
I
been
agree.
high. I think
But-
Blizzard really needs to start evaluating why heroes have the win rates they do, rather than just handing out buffs and nerfs based on those win rates. If you'd like to submit your own pet peeves, you can do so by leaving a comment or joining the Discord in my bio.
That's pretty good.
6v6 is going to come back to Overwatch. After they just ran the quick play hacked mode this weekend and said they want to continue running these limited time modes in the future to gauge people's reactions to them, I am 90% sure that they're going to do a 6v6 mode.
I'm actually kind of with them. I'm not gonna lie, I've actually had this feeling myself.
At some point. And I know all of the reasons why they wouldn't want to implement a 6v6 mode. They know that the second they put a 6v6 mode back in the game, that there is no reason for Overwatch 2 to exist. There's no PvE and the PvP is the exact
he's actually kind of right.
same. What does the 2 stand for at that point? But here's my argument to Blizzard. If they actually care about Overwatch the way that they claim to, then they do need to put 6v6 back in the game.
It should be tested. It should be tested
in a limit,
just to see. Okay, I almost forgot. These get broken up into separate pieces of videos. I said earlier today, I'm not a pro 6v6. I'm not anti 6v6. I am in the middle. I can see benefits. I can see flaws. I think we're just gonna have a different set of problems than we would now. But there's certain problems with Overwatch right now that are unfixable. There are certain problems in 6v6 that would be unfixable. It depends on which evils are worse. That's all. But
limited time mode for people
I agree. I actually think they'll probably do a quick play hacked.
Try it. And if they
66.
refuse to do so, then they need to come forward and say,
and they really should.
We are not willing to do what it takes to make our gameplay better. As evident by the reaction to the news of them adding the support passive to tanks and DPS in the next season, people are starting to get really sick of them saying one thing, then doing the complete opposite. Like claiming they want teamwork, then adding in less teamwork. So to me, I do not believe that they care about
now we are in the future, and that passive doesn't mean shit.
Overwatch succeeding unless they add in a 6v6 mode. And if they do not just come clean and straight up tell us that they don't care about Overwatch 2 succeeding, then I have no respect for anybody at Blizzard. And yes, the gameplay in the background is all from just one fight on Hanamura. And I even had to cut off about another 30 seconds at the beginning where the fight just started. So please don't say I'm looking back at the past with rose-colored glasses, because I do not want this to return. Please add back 6v6, but y'all can keep 2CP in the vault.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of in agreement with this one. 66 and stated I don't want to see double shield again. Yeah, like I think there need to be like stuff in place to make sure stuff like that doesn't come back. But it's not impossible. The Emong flat steel, I wouldn't mind getting to play with Emong again. I wouldn't mind it personally, but I put that feeling to the side. Also, I feel like I should take a quick break and say one more time, because I know that these get broken up into other pieces, but if you enjoy these and you want to see more of them, these are completely done and provided by you guys. So if you see cool TikToks or shorts that you like, go on my Discord, put them in the channel. It's like for TikToks, my mods go through it, make sure there's no DMCA music, they're safe to watch or whatever, and they put them off to the side for me, and then I go through and I watch them on stream. But if you guys don't send them, then I don't have content. So because otherwise then I have to go looking for it, and then it's not genuine if I watch it beforehand. It just doesn't feel like it's right. So if you want more of these, make sure you submit them.
Have you noticed how broken Winston is recently? Let's say you're on Cassidy. Broken Winston is...
Why do I feel like you could do an Easter egg hunt? Just go through Overwatch TikTok and see how many times you could count me. Different shirt, Pog. Why do I feel like I just appear in random places at all times, It's weird.
Recently, let's say you're on Cassidy, pushing up on Midtown, and there he is. Wins in Overwatch. But wait, something's off. You just took 50 damage, and this guy's losing like 10 health a shot. What in the f***? Our Winston jumps up top at the sneaky Bastion, absolutely decimating him through his armor with the new left-click change, which is just insanely unfair as the highest DPS output hero in the game with now only 300 health and 20% damage resist. Jokes aside, I wasn't joking. Kinda feels like Sniper Monkey was introduced, yes, to help him contest snipers, but also help Winston not engage. Defensive cooldowns are so strong that committing on tank is kind of like a no-no, and the devs keeping those cooldowns sacred has caused a ripple effect of power creep. Do I think these are actually bad? No. But do I believe the guys making these changes understand why they feel Winston needed them? No. But who knows? The devs might be pushing out the first nerfs ever in Overwatch 2 come Season 9.
Here we are now. I would not say that happened. I would say so tank survivability might have got nerfed, but everything else... Everything else is a little tee. Next.
Here are 3 of the most broken abilities and heroes in all of Overwatch's history. Number 3, when Sombra first got released into the game, she could capture objectives while invisible. You would just see a Sombra running around the objective invisible and the entire team just firing in the air trying to find her. It was hilarious and I can't believe this was actually a thing. Number 2, the Invincible Bastion. This Bastion patch was so OP.
This is the first week I ever played Overwatch, was this Bastion. That's not true. Clarification. My friends played Overwatch. I hated it. I thought it was shit. I thought it was a boring game. I was a Siege player. And they always wanted me to play. And a couple of my friends were Diamond, and I was 1700 Silver, because like I never played. And then they got to Diamond, and they couldn't queue together. We're out of range. And they're like, oh, you're going to have to climb a little bit, otherwise we can't play. So I said, F you, I'm going to get at this game. And I got on, and this was the day that Bastion had come out, and I played Ironclad Bastion from 1700 Silver to Diamond in like a week.
That it got patched within 1 day.
But I played on console. So console patches were much slower. So we had this for like 2 weeks.
Back in Overwatch 1, this patch made Bastion's damage reduction to 35%, which basically made him absolutely unkillable and he would dominate the entire lobby. Number 1, the OG Zen Discord Orb. Back in the early days of Overwatch, Blizzard decided to buff Zenyatta's HP to 200 and buff his Discord Orb where the damage received would be upwards of 50%. You could legitimately blink and Zenyatta would just delete you and send you back to spawn. Looking back in the old Overwatch days is always a blast. Comment down below something you missed from Overwatch 1.
Hey, at least you had multiple tanks you could stack up at that point, you know, am I right? Okay, let's go.
6v6 returning to Overwatch, I see a lot of people say, well, I don't want double shield to come back, I'd rather play 5v5 than double barrier again. If you guys don't remember, double shield, double barrier was really Sigma and Orisa. Orisa no longer has a shield, so I've heard people say, oh, well, Reinhardt Ramatra. That isn't double shield, that is just a rush comp. And just so we are all on the same page, because I know a lot of you are not that good at the game, so you can't comprehend when an issue is an issue and why it is, let me explain double shield to you. Double barrier was an issue because Sigma and Orisa could alternately throw up their shield, so they always had one, and meanwhile their shield was up. They could both be outputting value because they have long range abilities on their primary fires. The reason nobody ever looked at Reinhardt and cried about his shield is because when he's holding up his shield, his identity is just a wall. He's just a shield right there. He has to drop it to get value. That's why Rein's barrier is not the issue. So when you're all crying about Reinhardt Ramatra, yeah, maybe get rid of Ramatra's shield. Okay, I'm there with you. I'm right there with you. They could just change the tanks that they made do-it-allers and make them so they can't just do it all and give them actual weaknesses again, because they'll have a second tank to help them. I just love how everybody defending 5v5 points out the balance issues with 6v6 and then totally pretends that not only are there still balance issues in 5v5, but also there's a format issue with 5v5. So instead of like pick your poison and then try to improve on it,
there's also things that people don't talk about.
You just drank both bottles of Kool-Aid. Like, what are you talking about?
There's also things that people don't talk about, is that there's significantly less tank players than support players and DPS players. So the matchmaking was extremely long. And that's why DPS players would sit there and play other games in queue for 25 minutes. Granted, that still happens, but that's typically at night. During the day, it doesn't get too bad. Unless you get really high rank. If you're really high rank, that's different. So there's extremely long queue times. People don't want to play tank. Tank queues can be almost instant. Games felt like they were very, very dependent on your tanks. You know, the whole idea of tank diff was spawned out of Overwatch 1, because you can win games on with a shit tank in Overwatch 2. Absolutely. I mean, hell, this season, I feel like I've been beating the goats of tanks and then losing to the absolute shitters of tank. It's wild. Which I guess then I'm the shitter against the goats. But the point is, though, it feels like your impact is much higher now for DPS and support than you ever had before. And so, obviously, those being the much higher player bases, it might be in their best interest to keep it, make them feel like they have a lot of impact on the game. Yeah, there's obviously balance issues. People look at it and they go, oh, double shield and whatnot. I don't disagree. But there are also other issues that 5v5 did help or fix that we might not take into account. For example, queue times. For example, matchmaking. For example, the helplessness of feeling like your tanks aren't good, or the helplessness of they're playing double shield. I know balance. We're not talking about balance. I'm just talking about compositions. And then your team plays like Ball Hog and runs around the map, or plays Zarya Hog and just runs around the map. And, you know, they don't want to swap. Like, yeah, obviously it can happen in 5v5 too. I get it. I know it can happen, but less so. Oh no. Oh, I've seen this. Oh, this poor guy.
mash him.
What? What? Oh my god. Stop laughing.
You know, to be fair, they did kind of cook in the current patch, and like with faster swing blades, dry blade is a lot better than it used to be. They kind of cooked. Oh.
Alright, secondary movement test. Right.
Wait. That's kind of sick. It's even got a light. Imagine taking the bus and this is the guy sitting next to you. My first convention ever, when I was working in Overwatch League, there was some guy wearing a Reinhardt cosplay, and he was about 6'8", and he was massive. He offered to let me try it on, but he was super sweaty, and I was like,
Honestly, the slide is terrifying. Just like, imagine like someone running up to you in full armor like this. Because you can't actually run. That is terrifying.
that's pretty good. That's a nice one. I like it. Another Frogger TikTok?
Mike's-
Uh-oh. These are typically really good.
My experience trying to like make content with other Overwatch streamers has always just gone terribly. It's more fun to bump into them like just in a random Overwatch ranked game, right? Than actually set up.
Why?
Yeah, man, let's do it on this day. Because there's one streamer, there's one content creator I actually said, dude, let's do a duo someday. We're gonna have some really good games. We're gonna heaps
Is that Karku?
of content
it's-
together, all that sort of stuff, right? This is my first time playing him. Basically, their first impression of me. We lose 7 games in a row.
That's me playing with most people.
Zero good content. It is just the worst experience playing together ever. So I am too scared to hit up another streamer to like be like, hey, we should do it for some content and all this sort of stuff. Because I'm just scared we go on a massive loss
Wait, that makes so much sense.
streak together. And if you're wondering, we haven't done it ever since, man. It's so bad.
Wait, that makes so much sense. Now I kind of feel bad because I'm actually the same way. You're gonna hit up Frogger after this? I don't want to. See, I'm the same way. I don't hit anybody up because I'm like, well, I'll hit up Karku or Emon because like I know them so much at this point. It's like, nah, dude, you don't get to say no. I wasn't asking. I was telling. But hell, I mean, I'm down to throw some of Frogger's games. Why not?